What up? What up? What up? Want to thank everybody stopping by. Want to welcome everybody to 2 Cents Boxing, where we talk everything boxing and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing how boxing corruption works. We're going to talk about that today. But I just want to say if you're listening to the replay of this live, make sure you punch that like button. Make sure you punch that like button if you listen to the replay. And make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents about what we're talking about as you go through the live. Join in on the conversation. The more, the merrier. And even if you watch the live for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just let me know you stop by. If you don't have nothing to comment, just put I stop by in the comment section. We trying to get it in the logarithm so more people can join in on the conversation. If everybody can hear me clearly, I got me some headphones. So if everybody can hear me clearly, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. Let me know you're here. I see a couple people watching. I see a couple people watching. Let me know you're here. I just want to make sure my sound is right. Mic check. All right. Everybody can hear me. What up, Joseph? What up, Chris? What up, Cass? What up, Al? What's going on with y'all? What's going on? Today we're going to be talking about how boxing corruption works. Now, before I got on this live, I started thinking. And first of all, let me say that talking to yourself out loud is not easy as it looks. But listen, so I was thinking, right? Anytime you bring up corruption in boxing or cheating in boxing, what do people always say? It's boxing, right? They always say it's boxing. But I don't understand why people get so offended or so in their feelings when you talk about the corruption in boxing. We talk about everything in boxing. We talk about the fights. We talk about the trainers. We talk about the promotional companies. We talk about the networks. We talk about the contracts. We talk about their criminal record. But nobody talks about the corruption. But it's boxing. Anytime you bring it up, it's boxing. So if it's boxing, then why can't we talk about it? Why, like, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So I'm going to talk about how boxing corruption works. And I'm going to talk about it on my channel because I would like to give my 2 cents about it. And I'm not talking about speaking about the corruption in boxing like speculation. We could talk about things that have already happened. We could talk about events of cheating that's already happened because the past is a great predictor of the future. So if you study what happens in the past and then you see what's going on today, and then it's like a no-brainer, like duh, of course it happens. That's why over at the boxing outlet chat. Listen, if you're not subscribed to the boxing outlet, please go subscribe to the boxing outlet. We have a great time over there. It's super fun, great conversation, great people. We just have a good time. But I appreciate Greg that comes on the boxing outlet because he's like a historian in boxing. He knows a lot about boxing. He knows a lot about the past. And a lot of times when we're like, oh, when we talk about things, and he's like, well, this happened in 1970. We don't know nothing about that. I wasn't even born in 1970. So it's always good to hear how really is nothing new going on. It's nothing new going on. What up, Chris? What up, Al? What up, Cass? Cass, I don't think I ever seen you before. Make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, bro. Joseph. What up? Of course, boxing ain't easy. You definitely don't play boxing, but boxing is definitely trying to play us. I can tell you that for sure. Joseph say those same boxers that cheat complain about their promoters cheating them. That's why they cheat. I mean, At this point, Joseph, like, I think we're gonna have to come to terms with the fact, just like I listed promoters, boxers, trainers, networks, corruption, cheating. It's a part of boxing, like everybody keep telling us, but they don't want us to talk about it. Chris Sanchez say 2 cents, the queen of boxing media, Jack. Now I ain't gonna steal Ross Jack, but you've been hearing him say it so much, it just feel cool when you throw it in there. It just put the emphasis on it. It just put the emphasis on it. But today I want to talk about the corruption and how it works. I seen a video. I'm not doing no speculating. I'm not about to do no speculating. I am going to run it back. We're gonna run it back. I seen this video of Joey Torres, and it says Joey Torres on how he played the FBI for 1 million during its investigation into fixed fights. This is a video off Vlad TV. I'm sure a lot of y'all are familiar with Vlad TV. And he talks about in the interview what goes down with these fights. And he also talked about promotional companies and promoters and who's doing this. He does some name dropping. And it was very, very interesting to me. So I said, I'm hopping on live and I'm sharing this for sure. I'm sharing this for sure. And I want y'all to get it all out in an hour. If not, we're going to revisit it. Because I think he probably talks about more in this, but I'm just doing one clip. Okay? So I had to talk to my son real quick. Pardon me. Joseph say those same, but I already read that. Already read that. So truth, what's going on? Big up, big up. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the stream today. I'm gonna drop the link as soon as we run through this video. We got 7 people. I'm trying to wait for a couple more people to come in. Wait for a couple more minutes. So how is everybody doing today? I want everybody to let me know and drop it below how they day been going so far. Interested to know how are y'all doing today? How is everything going? Come on, this is a chat-based channel. Chat-based channel. I mean, I go to people's channel sometimes and they just talk and talk and talk. I be like, man. At first I used to be like, I could do that. That's easy. But it's not as easy as it looks. I'm not really a big talker. Um, I talk, but I don't really talk a lot. I'm more introverted personality. I don't know if you can tell on the YouTube, but yeah, I'm pretty introverted. Joseph say he good. Glad to hear that. Salute Brandon from Detroit. I think I seen you before, Brandon. Your little thumbnail picture looked familiar, or your avatar, or whatever that thing is called. So, what's the weather like where y'all at? Cause it's about 70 something degrees out here, and I'm in Texas. So, 70 degrees in Texas means boots with the fur, coats, jackets, beanies. I mean, it gets a little bit cold out here, and everybody brings out all the winter stuff because we're only going to get a few cold days. Like, listen, you can't even get, like, let's say I was going out of somewhere cold. Let's say I was going to Chicago for the winter, during the winter time. I couldn't even buy the coat that I would need for Chicago because they wouldn't even sell it out here because it doesn't even get that cold. That year we had that freeze, man, that was the worst. And what I would do was they were like, oh, it's a negative 17 degrees outside. So I was like, man, I've never felt a negative 17 degrees before. Like, I went out there, I wanted to, it might have been even colder than that. Maybe 15, negative 15. I went out there, like, I opened the door and it hurt. It was so cold. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it's this cold. People actually live in this. I'm telling you, I could not live in the cold. I lived in Virginia for a little while because my husband was in the Navy, and that cold and that snow, I looked at him like, I can't do this. I mean, this is not for me. I'm a Southern girl. I don't like snow. I don't like driving in snow. I don't like any of that. Al Post say, I just saw you on a boxing outlet channel earlier. It was funny as hell. Which one, man? I'm always on the boxing outlet. I'm like the co-host over there. We have a good time over there. And the thing about the boxing outlet, like, oddly enough, it actually feels like an outlet. Like, people be having a lot of things going on. People will call in and be like, "Man, I was having a bad day till I heard you. I like listening to you." Like it's actually became what the name is, the boxing outlet. Like it's literally an outlet. People really enjoy the show. So if you're not subscribed over there to the boxing outlet, go ahead and subscribe over there to the boxing outlet. If you're not subscribed to 2 Cents Boxing, please make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. Joseph say 2 cents. You have a lot of interesting perspectives. Definitely worthy to listen to. Thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate that. And I didn't know how well I would be received as a woman in the boxing space when I first started, but I really didn't care. But no, I mean, I knew I had a different perspective. That's what made me want to start a channel because I think a little differently. I know you hear a lot of people say, I don't think like everybody else, but I really don't think like a lot of people. And it's pros and cons to that, but it just makes me who I am. So True say I just had people move to Texas. What part of Texas, So True? Dude with the belts and the disco lights. Oh man, we can't even get into that over here, man. We got it. Don't even get me started with that. I had fun that day. Uh, I thought he was trying to troll me. Al, I thought he was trying to troll me, so I was like, "You're not about to play with me." But I think he was serious. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and if you can hear, I want you to put a one or a two. I mean, not a one or a two. Put a one in the chat if you can hear.
Now we're at this point where you have had this bout, and now um, you're talking about the way that fix is often in the boxing game. Um,
Okay, so real quick backstory. This is Joey Torres, some gangster that did 40 years in California jail or something like that. He gets out of jail, and they start paying him to box. And that's another thing I noticed. It's like a lot of people involved with jail gets into boxing. It's like a safe haven for criminals, maybe. I don't know, but let's go.
for one, I'd like to ask, at what point did you realize? Because you came up and you were fighting and all that. You were in the boxing game since you were a kid. At what point did you come to understand that the boxing game is really crooked like it is?
When you know, I was. You have to go back. You have to go back to San Diego. I just got out of prison. I received a phone call from Scott Woodworth. He's one of the big promoters that
Hey, I want y'all to take some notes. Scott Woodworth. Who is that? Write his name down. I mean, I'm gonna look into this stuff. We're gonna talk about it.
worked for Don King that was able to get the $1 million for Orlin Norris against Mike Tyson suit. And he put me up in the catamaran in San Diego in the penthouse suite. I was only out maybe 2 days. And he
This
said,
is after you'd gotten bailed out.
this is why I'm on bail.
Okay.
And I said, man, I haven't been swimming in 40 years. So I went and bought some shorts.
He haven't been swimming in 40 years because he's been in prison. Damn, can you imagine being in prison for 40 years? That's wild.
I went down to the pool from my penthouse suite. And I'm like, damn, I'm 41 years old. I'm going to fight again. But they said, we're going to give you 5 deals. It'll come out to 50,000 plus what we make. And you'll get a expenditure and you'll get, I said, okay, cool. And they said, don't worry about it. Your fights are fixed.
So let's put a pin right there. Joseph Swab say fish in jail. Who? Spence? What are you talking about, Joseph? Don't do that. So let's put a pin right there. They specifically said they're gonna pay him, feed him, pay his expenses, and do all that. They're gonna take care of him, and not to worry, his fights are fixed.
So I go to the pool and I see these two gentlemen with Hawaiian shirts and shorts and they're wearing black socks. You know, I knew they were taking the sun. And they sat next to me and they said, we know who you are. And we've been bugging Bob Arum and Top Rank's phone. We know that you're.
They've been bugging who? Hey, write it in the chat if y'all heard who they just said phone they was bugging. I want to make sure y'all heard that. If I need to rewind it, I need to rewind it. They said, we know who you are. How do they know who he is? Because they've been bugging Top Rank and Bob Arum's phone. Stick a pin in that, please. Please stick a pin in that. They've been bugging Top Rank and Bob Arum's phone.
Fight is fixed. If you work with us to solve fixed fights, Senator John McCain will name the boxing bill after you. I said, well, you know, I'm good. They said, you're going back to.
So wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. They told this man, if you work with us, we'll name the John McCain bill after you, which who at the time was working on, I guess at this time, from my understanding, if I'm putting two and two together, they were trying to work on fixing the corruption in boxing at the time. KG Too Tall, what's going on?
Listen, your appeals on hold. If you work with us, we'll guarantee that you won't go back to prison.
Okay, I know I keep stopping this, but because I don't want to let it keep playing and I miss my points. Who do we know that had an open case recently in a big fight? Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
And we'll give you $20,000 a month plus clothing and plus housing. And I was like, well, what are we talking here? What do I have to do? You have to show that your fight's fixed. I go, but if you have it on the audio, you know that my fight's fixed. I took the card, waited a few days. I told Scott Woodward about it. I called Bones Adams, the champ at the time was the featherweight champion of the world, Clarence Bones Adams. I said, hey, dude, they're coming after fixed fights.
Salute Andre Smith. They're gonna pay him. So this is the FBI, because as you can see right here, it says he got away. He played the FBI for 1 million. So this is allegedly the FBI trying to stop the corruption in boxing, and they're gonna pay him 20,000 a month to prove that he's fixing fights. Hold on. They're gonna pay him 20,000 a month to prove that he's fixing fights.
I said, hey, dude, they're coming after fixed fights. He said, fuck them, take them for a ride. They introduced me to a guy named Big Frankie. Big Frankie was a NYPD. He had just busted the Gambino crime family. He was about 6 feet tall, about 450 pounds. And I met him in Vegas. He says, I'm getting close to retirement. Fuck the FBI. If we get caught, it's on you. They're not going to go to bat for you. And when it's over, they're going to send you back to prison. So you make the
Oh, he told you that.
straight out.
Okay.
So this guy is dealing with the corruption from the boxing, and now somebody's telling him, yeah, you're gonna do whatever they say, whatever, and then they're gonna put you back in jail anyway. So now he's worried about corruption from the FBI. Listen, everything is y'all, you cannot continue to look at things on the surface level. Nothing is ever what it seems. Like, you have to understand that. And it's so easy to see this within boxing. It's like right there. It's like they shining a flashlight on it. I'm not speculating right now. I'm not making this up. This is what Joey Torres is saying. And who did he say? He said Bob Arum and Top Rank. And I'm going to look, stick a pin in that. Stick a pin in that.
So for the next 2 years, I bamboozled the FBI for close to $1 million in cash and never gave them nothing. Nobody ever to this day has been arrested or gone to jail. I used to bang on the fighters' doors going, FBI, let me in. And me and Frankie would walk in. All the boxers knew that what was going on. It wasn't a secret.
Oh, did y'all hear that? Type that in the chat. I want to make sure y'all heard that. Type that in the chat. I want to make sure y'all heard that. He said he would bang on the door and act like the FBI. This is ridiculous. This is wild, man. This is wild. Do y'all hear what this man is saying? The FBI, what, the FBI tried to stop it? Are they trying to catch him? Why would you go to another criminal? Like, it's just crazy. So let's go.
Word. Word. Frankie was a dirty NYPD detective who was on his last days, and he let me run Ramshot in Vegas. In fact, if you go to the Gangster Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, I'm in it. I saw myself in the Gangster Hall of Fame about 3 months ago, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's me."
That man say he in the Gangster Hall of Fame. I did not even know it was a Gangster Hall of Fame. So listen, boxing got Hall of Fame trainers, Hall of Fame boxers, and Hall of Fame gangsters.
I said, "Hey,
They got Hall of Fame gangsters involved in boxing right now.
dude, they're coming after fixed fights."
Uh oh.
He said, "Fuck you, pounds." And I met him in Vegas.
Hold on, let me find where I was at.
He said, "I'm getting close to retirement, straight out."
Okay.
So for the next 2 years, um,
Hold on, let me find where I'm.
knew that what was going on. It wasn't yeah, it wasn't a secret.
Word?
So for everybody that keeps saying, well, if such and such knew such and such was cheating, why wouldn't they fight them? If such and such knew such and such was cheating, why would they do this? Guys, it's a part of boxing. Like y'all keep saying that, but when we mention it, you act like we making it up. They all know what's up. I guess if it's a matter if you can overcome the cheating, I'm not sure. They all know what's up. So why Earl ain't saying nothing? Earl knew what was up. I mean, they know what's up. They're not as hard pressed as the fans are. It's almost like it's the curtain, like like what I'm saying, like they back behind pulling the string. Like if you pull the curtain back, you will see the cranks in the back. You will see the gears in the back. That's what it's like. So I'm not making this up. I'm not speculating. All I'm doing is pushing the curtain back and showing y'all the gears. If you interested, if you don't want to hear this, then you don't have to listen. I want to remind everybody that you're here voluntarily.
Bird. Frankie was a dirty NYPD detective who was on his last days. One reel in boxing.
Matchbox?
That was no box.
Hold on, let me find the part.
In fact, if you go to the Gangster Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, I'm in it. I saw myself in the Gangster Hall of Fame about 3 months ago, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's me."
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so what
So
it was
that was
it was
that was
fixed fights.
Operation Matchbox?
That was no, not Matchbox. See, that's
Oh.
what people need to know. There's only one reel in boxing.
All right, man, I'm just sitting here talking. I'm still on mute. Let me run it back.
Matchbox?
That was no, not Matchbox. See, that's what people need to know. Oh shit, that's me.
All right, here we go.
That's
Listen.
crazy.
Yeah, and so what it
So
was it was
that was
fixed fights.
Operation Matchbox?
That was no, not Matchbox. See, that's
Oh.
what people need to know. There's only one reel in boxing, and that
He said there's only one real promoter in boxing. I hope y'all didn't hear it because I want y'all to guess who that is. I want everybody to guess who the one real promoter is in boxing. There's 12 people in here, 13 people. Somebody just popped in. It should be 13 answers. Who is the realest promoter in boxing? According to Joey Torres, he's about to reveal it. Let me know in the comments. Who is the number one promoter in boxing? It's a person. It's a person. It's a person. I'm gonna give it. Come on, I only got one person guessing. Who is the realest promoter in boxing? Okay, I got two answers. Okay, okay, okay. All right, I got some answers. I got Al, I got Arum, I got Al. Who else we got? If anybody get it right, I'm gonna send them a tumbler. If anybody get it right, I'm gonna send them a tumbler. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Go. If anybody get it right, I'm gonna give them a tumbler. You got 23 seconds to guess. All right, let's see what answers we got. Let's see what we got. We got Vegas, Al, Aram, Al, Al. Somebody say Al Heyman. Al Heyman. Salute Mr. Moss. Somebody say the commission. Andre Smith, I know you did not write Don King. I know you didn't write. I only know Al, Aram, and the other fat dude. Can't remember his name. All right, and somebody say Floyd. Unfortunately, we did not get a winner. Thank you, Brandon. Al is not a promoter. He's an advisor. All right, here we go.
Matchbox? That was no, not Matchbox. See, that's what people need to know. There's only one real in boxing, and that's Dazin in Europe, Eddie Hearn.
What? And Eddie Hearn. And I don't know, I think it might have been my last live or one of my other videos. I was just talking about Eddie Hearn and how people do not like Eddie Hearn. LB don't like Eddie Hearn. Nobody likes mess with Eddie Hearn. But according to Joey Torres, he's the cleanest one. Eddie Hearn? The zone? The zone? Really? I wasn't expecting that.
That fool is so straight, he don't know how to be crooked. We're top rank. Brother, they hired me. They hired me. I would go to fights all over the U.S., and I used to walk the losers in the corner.
Top Rank hired him. Let me run that back.
Me. I would go to fights all over the U.S., and I don't know how to be crooked. We're top rank. Brother, they hired me. They hired me. I would go to fights all over the U.S., and I used to walk the losers in the corner.
Top Rank hired him, y'all, for a job. They hired him. The man would spend 40 years in prison and they hired him to go fight. And so that made me think for a second. Cuz I remember when I watched Top Rank, I'm like, dude, who are these people fighting? Where are they finding these people? Some of these people don't even have no business in the ring with your up and coming prospect. And it's obvious. So they went and hired a 40-year-old ex-con to fix fights. They hired him, put him on payroll. Top Rank did this. Bob Arum, Top Rank.
I would walk the losers in the corner that were losing on purpose. And I was so drunk and high and bored that I would bet the Cowboys in the audience what round do you want them to get knocked out in.
Oh shit!
And I say, just pick a number. And they go two. And I go to the paisa and say, la dos. And the paisa would get in there in the second round. He'd look for a soft place to lay down. And I'd get my beer and he'd win his money. And I'd do the.
Did y'all hear that? He just walked up, hit the dude in the corner like, "Hey, second round, let's go. It's out of there." Just that easy. And then y'all are betting money on this fight. So as we go through this interview, you're gonna see the corruption gets even deeper. It gets even deeper. That's just surface level. You're just betting the people around you.
for the whole fight. I did it in every city. Does that answer your question, my brother?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. I'm sure a lot of people's minds are going to be blown. You know, I got friends who were like, "Yo, uh, come to Vegas, man. We're going to the fight, man. We're going to fight. Come to." And you know, this is something that has been going on
This
for
guy talks
years and years
entirely
and
too
years.
much.
Like all my life, like cats are like, "Yo, come to the fight, come to the fight." I didn't go back in the days because I was made to understand that the feds would be there taking pictures and seeing who's shaking whose hand. My mother made me understand that as a kid, so I didn't go for that reason then, right?
Ain't that how Frank Lucas got caught up in the movie at a boxing match? The feds are at the boxing matches seeing who coming. Like we might need to rethink what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to do is give everybody a different perspective to understand that. Like I said at the beginning of this live, we talk about the promoters, we talk about the boxers, we talk about the trainers, we talk about the networks. But when you mention something about corruption, it's boxing, but nobody wants you to talk about it.
And then as I got older, then I was like, I'm not gonna go watch that foolishness. I'm cool. I'm not spending $5,000 to sit up front and so
Yeah, but see
somebody
those
can look at
fights.
me.
Those fights aren't the ones. The no, it's not those ones, bro. When you have fights that are structured, people need to understand this. When you talk about the big fights, when you talk about the De La Hoyas, the Manny, the Mayweather, those fights aren't fixed. Those are
Now, we gonna listen. We're gonna listen to the rest of what he's saying, but I'm gonna let you know he said the big fights aren't fixed. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that's just above him. That's above what he know. That's a whole another level of that's a higher level of the corruption. But let's go.
true
Well, I'm
champion.
glad I'm glad to hear it because I'm
No, no,
saying
no, no.
if they
Let,
if those would have to be like the WWF got some talented people,
no,
you know, who do some really extraordinary athletic things, but for those level of fights to be fixed would be
no,
crazy to me.
no. Then
So
please
I'm
let
glad to hear that.
no. Please let me explain.
Mhm.
It's
Okay, he about to explain. If the interviewer would just be quiet and let the man talk, let's hear what he got to say.
getting to that journey. Understand this. I could take I could take any human being right now that's healthy, and I could take them down to Tijuana in Mexico, and I
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a god doggone minute. He gonna take him where? To Mexico. To Mexico. And what have we just heard recently about Mexico? What have we just heard recently about Mexico? I know y'all know, put it in the chat. Devin Haney paid to get losses taken off his record in Mexico. Am I saying that Devin Haney paid to get losses taken off his record in Mexico? No, I'm not saying he did that. What I'm saying is Joey is saying he's going down to Tijuana to fix fights, and we just heard about some fight fixing in Mexico. So why is that so hard to believe? Now, does it really matter if he paid to give? I mean, what was he, 15 years old, 16 years old? It was a long time ago. It doesn't necessarily take away from Devin, but it does kind of discredit him a little bit. But does it? Because it's boxing. It's boxing. Should we start discrediting fighters for cheating? Or should we just accept the fact that it's boxing and that you got to do what you got to do to win?
could have him fight 20 taxi drivers in a 2 week period, and I could get his record 20-0. What was happening is Top Rank, who I was working for at the time, would have fighters, their opponents. Their life is just
He dropping the mess out of name dropping the mess out of Top Rank, ain't he? Top Rank be involved in some stuff, man. And I don't know why people don't talk about it. Everybody, PBC going out of business. Al Heyman ruining boxing. No, why nobody talk about Bob and Top Rank and what he's doing over there? The more I look into this cheating stuff, the more Bob name keep popping up.
put the gloves up, and when you feel find a corner. That's what it was about. It wasn't about. It was about over under six because people will make their money betting on over or under six. But it's not the big fights. It's the little fights that get you there. It's fighting in Omaha. It's fighting in.
What is fighting in where? Let me run that back. Let me run that back.
It wasn't about. It was about over under six because people will make their money betting on over or under six. But it's not the big fights. It's the little fights that get you there. It's fighting in Omaha. It's fighting in some two light stop city.
I know Joey didn't just say it's about fighting in Omaha. I know. Did y'all hear Joey say? Put a one in the chat if you heard Joey say it's fighting in Omaha. Listen, this ain't speculation. This ain't what I think. This ain't possibly what could have happened. Joey just said it. This not coming out of my mouth. Joey just said it. He said it's like fighting in Omaha. I'm not mentioning no names. We not even finna get on there. Let's keep going.
To get the record to where your promoter wants it to be. Because you have to remember, you're not working. I'm paying you to train. I'm paying your kids. I'm doing your wife's hair and nails every week. So you will do what I tell you to do. And if it comes down to you have to lose tonight, you're going to lose tonight. That's what it is. It's not the big fights. It's like the fight coming up this Saturday. There's no way on God's earth Javante Davis loses to Ryan.
I mean, that was kind of obvious though. If and that's what I'm saying. If Tank would have lost to Ryan, come on, man. Come on, man.
Ryan's a product of the internet. He's a pretty boy. Javante Davis is a beast from Baltimore. He ain't got no conscience. He's an animal.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is he's going to devastate this guy. But then the other side in me says, well, I know about the Holyfield and the Tyson. I know about what happens if Ryan wins. Well,
Listen to what he say. Listen to what he say about this.
let's just say Ryan wins, then the rematch, another 25 million, and then the rubber match, another. So there's more money in Ryan winning than in Davis winning. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do y'all get it? And this is how you gotta think when it comes to boxing. I know a lot of people like to be like, oh, the skill, all that's cool, all that's great. But it's way deeper than your skill if you win in boxing. And that's the reality of it. It's way deeper than your skill.
I do.
But you don't know if the fix is in because it's at a level that you and me cannot be privy to. But I know that I fixed many fights. You know, I used to go to Costa Rica with an envelope from Top Rank Boxing to Gino Da Vinci,
Give me a second, y'all. I got a
and
phone
he had
call.
two.
All right, I had to take a phone call real quick.
I would go to
Hey,
Costa
listen,
Rica.
listen, listen. This part right here, this made me kind of be like, whoa, because this is a level that I didn't even think about. Check this out.
Fixed many fights. You know, I used to go to Costa Rica with an envelope from Top Rank Boxing to Gino Da Vinci, and he had 2bet.net and goldenpalace.com, and I would go to Costa Rica and I'd give him the envelope.
So, did y'all hear what this man said? I don't know if y'all heard that, but he said he would give the envelope to whatever the man name he said, Torres or something, because he had two betting websites. He had two betting websites. So not only are these people fixing the fights, so they know who gonna win, they got the betting websites also. Listen, that's a whole nother level. This is a whole nother level, y'all. This is deeper than what we were actually thinking. We thinking, oh, they want to win so Vegas can win. Vegas, these people making up their own betting websites and fixing the fights, and then you keep hearing, oh, Top Rank have the best quote unquote matchmakers in boxing. They got the best quote unquote matchmakers in boxing. So what I've learned is you have to pay attention to the verbiage and the words being used. You can't just take them for surface level. So we've been hearing they got the best matchmakers in boxing. On the surface level, you think, oh, they good at matching people up that you can beat. No, 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 no. It's way deeper than that. They're good at hiring people you can beat. Top rank, top ranking Bob Arum. They're hiring people for you to beat. People that's not even boxers. People that don't even fight. Or they're going around paying people to lose. That's matchmaking. So listen to the code. These people speak in code. That's why you have to and they double speak. Politicians do it too. They double speak. You think they talking about one thing and they're really talking about a whole nother other subject, and you just shaking your head, smiling in agreement because you thinking they know what they talking about. Because you don't really understand the how deep the corruption can go in boxing. So you keep hearing, and I used to be like, what does that mean? What is like what does are they the only people with matchmakers? What does that even mean? Because if you think about it, is matchmaking is still kind of like a little questionable. Like, so you would be see three fighters and be like, nah, you can't fight him. His style will beat you. Or you can't fight him. His style will beat you. I get his style makes fights. You want to build your fighter. You want to do this. You want to do that. I get it. But listening to Joey say that they hired him, and then now you sit back and you think, man, they do say they got the best matchmakers. They got the best matchmakers. Is this what they do? Is this what they are they really hiring people to lose in boxing matches? And now it makes sense to me. This is why I do not like top rank cards really. Every now and then top rank will put on a good card and I'll be like, man, that's like probably one of the best top rank. Every time I see a good top rank card is one of the best top rank cards I've ever seen. And I've seen some horrible top rank cards. Hey, let me take a break real quick. I need everybody to punch that like button. Punch that like button. Say what's up if you just hopping in the chat so I can know you here. We talking about how boxing corruption works right now. And I'm not talking about it. Joey's talking about it. We're listening to Joey talk about how boxing corruption works. Let's get back into it.
with all the fixed fights. And he would make the market on the offshore gambling to where he made money under six, over six. Because remember, my brother, you don't bet on who wins the fight. Your money's bet on if it goes over or under.
Do y'all hear that? Y'all should jot that down for y'all notes. If you bet on boxing, over or under. So let's run it down real quick. Let's run it down. So you got top ranking Bob Arum. This ain't speculation. I didn't make that up. Joey just said it. Is Joey credible? I don't know. He's in the Gangster Hall of Fame. Whatever that means. I don't know if that make him more credible or less credible. But he was hired by Top Rank. They paid him $50,000, 5 fights to throw him. And we sitting here thinking Top Rank got these great matchmakers. So think about that. And then we think like, I mean, let's use Terrence Crawford for an example. He was just recently with Top Rank. Let's just use him. And we say, oh, he ain't fought nobody. He ain't did this. Oh, well, Top Rank got the best matchmakers. And then so put that together, y'all. Let's put that together. Let's connect the dots. Let's connect the dots. Because these y'all want to boxing fans want to sit around and go on outlet and argue back and forth with Ross as if it's no possible way this could go down. It just could never happen. I'm not making this up. Joey saying this. And the PBC hate gotta stop because I'm about to be on Top Rank head. It's so much information out there about Top Rank and Bob Arum. I'm about to be on their head. And I'm about to be making videos about it. Just like the Teddy Atlases and the Rick Glaciers and all them want to go so hard on PBC and talk so bad about PBC and Al Heyman overpaying the fighters. Why y'all not talking about Bob, Rick? Why you not talking about Bob, Rick? You complaining about somebody overpaying somebody when Top Rank is completely corrupt from owning websites offshore for you to bet on, fixing the fights. Y'all can't. That's ridiculous. That's wild, man. Y'all know how wild that is right now. Y'all gonna have to run this back. Y'all gonna have to run this back and listen to this again to really fully understand. I've listened to this like 3 times, and I'm sure when I get off here, it's gonna be a lot of more things that I wish I would have said. Maybe I should start writing stuff down. So, Rick, Bob's your guy? Bob's your guy, Rick? And you're complaining about Al Heyman overpaying fighters and ruining boxing? Y'all want to sit here and say Al Heyman is ruining boxing? Listen, I'm just thinking about this in real time while I'm talking to y'all, and I'm a little irritated. I'm a little irritated about it. Hold on, I got a phone call. Hold on, real quick. I'm coming back, y'all. I'm on a phone call. I'm on a phone call. Give me 1 second. Y'all digest that for a second. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. All right, y'all. I'm coming. Give me 1 more second. All right, I'm back. So it's been a lot of finger pointing, right? Oh, Al Heyman destroyed Showtime. All they talk about is PBC and Al Heyman and how they destroying boxing when the whole time your homeboy Rick, your boy Bob over there fixing fights. And let's say I don't even know how long ago this was. You're not about to tell me he stopped or he got caught or they not doing it no more. You're not about to tell me that. This corruption don't stop like that, y'all. Corruption don't stop when you get caught. You get better. We're not talking about crimes. We're talking about corruption. It's a difference. We're not talking about a crime. We're not talking about you being a thief, or even we're not even talking about you selling drugs. We're talking about being corrupt. You don't no longer be corrupt. You move to something different and you corrupt it. I guarantee you Victor Conti will corrupt boxing if they continue to let him stay in boxing. But I digress. Let's get back to it.
I don't give a fuck who wins. Is it going over six or under six? I see Devontae Davis under eight. He already said he's going to knock him out in the seventh or eighth. So I'll put a G note on that because I believe this kid is a thug. And if it ain't fixed, he'll smoke this fool. But in the ones fights that I could control, those are the fights that I could control. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question, my brother?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? Whatever they can control, they will control. Whatever they can control, they will control.
I believe that that does, man. I think that puts a lot into perspective. Again, about how that game actually works. There's too
Brother,
much money.
just Saturday that just passed. Excuse me, just Saturday that just passed. I'm sitting with my boys at my house. They go, do it, champ. Take the guy on the left. Why? I go, because his promoter, Eddie Valdez, is related to, and they're signed with Top Rank. And sure enough, next fight, take the guy on the right.
Now let me ask y'all a question about what he just said. He said, take the guy on the right or left or whatever he said. Now, did he say take the guy on the right? He got a mean hook. He got a nice jab. He got good head movement. He got good footwork. Did he mention his style? Did he mention his skill at all? Did he mention his skill one time? Did he say anything about his skill one time? He did not say one word about this man's skill. He did not say one word about this man's skill. And listen, don't get it twisted. Like I'm like, oh, everything is fixed. Of course, everything is. Nothing is absolute. No, every fight ain't fixed. No, everything ain't fixed. No, every big fight probably not fixed. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it's a part of the sport. Let's finish this up. We almost done.
He already lost twice for the title. It's his going away fight. They're giving him $1 million and they guarantee him the win. I sit with my friends and tell every win, every fight. That's how fixed boxing is.
That is crazy.
It's real. It's real.
That is, and it's been this way, huh? Historically.
It's been like that since the 20s, since the 30s at Madison Square Garden with Doug Goldstein and with it's boxing's been run by organized crime. The only difference with Top Rank and Bob Arum is he was a attorney general for President Kennedy, and he has a free reign to do anything he wants to do.
Bruh, listen, I gotta run that back for y'all. The last thing he said, when I heard that, I clutched my pearls. Because I don't know if y'all remember us talking about this over at Outlet. Why does the top ranked fighters, it was always something fishy going on when they fight a PBC fighter? Why does top rank have such a good record against the PBC fighters? This is why, y'all. Listen, this is why we can't understand what be going on.
Boxing's been crime.
This is why we can't. I'm gonna run it back one more time. I want everybody to listen.
The only difference with Top Rank and Bob Arum is he was an attorney general for President Kennedy, and he has a free reign to do anything he wants to do.
What? What? Bob Arum has the free, he was a senator for President Kennedy. He has the free reign to do whatever it is that he wants to do. Question answered. Question answered. He has the free reign to do what he wants to do. Why is it that Deontay Wilder can get in the ring with Tyson Fury, who we obviously know that he could knock out Tyson Fury? I don't care how big Tyson Fury is. I don't care how good his footwork is and his head movement is. I don't care how many you get knocked down, you get the 30-second count. I don't how he getting away with the floppy gloves. How is this stuff happening? And why is it always with top rank? I'm about to be on top rank head. I'm about to be on top rank's head. So now that we're coming to an understanding about the corruption and the cheating going on, and I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep digging because this guy said they're hiring people to fight, to take losses, to fix fights. They're going to Mexico to pay people to fix fights. They're owning the betting sites, offshore betting sites, and making money from the fixed fights. I mean, what else you need to know? Even let's say even with that little bit of information. So somebody come and tell you, oh, they gloves was loaded. That's light work. Oh, you triple stacking your hands. Whatever you quadruple stacking your hands, whatever you're doing, that's light work. So this is what I was thinking. I had an idea today. Because I know people will come and be like, well, like when we talk, let's say we're talking about Terrence and Spence. Well, Spence be throwing the low blows. That's cheating. That's cheating. So what I wanted to do was kind of get a balance to that, so we can have a better understanding, so that we don't have to go back and forth with the if it's cheating or not. So since we've established on this live, I think you all can agree that cheating is a part of boxing. Like I said, we talk about the promoters, we talk about the boxers, we talk about the contracts, we talk about the networks. Now we're talking about the cheating. So to me, I feel like us as a group, since this is our 2 cents and our channel, we should come up with a tier system for cheating, right? And let me tell you what I mean. Let's say they said, oh, first of all, we should figure out, do we want the cheating tier system to go from 1 to 5, or 0 to 5, 0 to 10? I want y'all to put in the chat. Should we go from 0 to 10, or should we go from 0 to 5 for the tier levels of cheating? So let me give you an example. They said, oh, Errol Spence was throwing a lot of low blows. Well, is that cheating? Because you could throw low blows until they start to take a point away. To me, that's almost kind of like fouling in basketball. You're allowed 6 of them, right? It's not necessarily cheating if you foul and maybe using it like, oh, he about to hit a shot, I foul him. And even if you foul somebody on purpose, that's a whole nother type of foul. So let's say low blows would be, what y'all think? Tier 0 or tier 1? Should we start with 0 or should we start with 1? Okay. A couple people say 0 to 5. So we got low blows, maybe that would be a tier 0. What about rabbit punching? What would y'all rate rabbit punching? What tier would that be? Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5? What would you rate rabbit punching? Maybe a tier 3, maybe a tier 2, maybe a tier 2. Um Kind of like I would say maybe things you can do in the ring and they may take a point away, kind of like a foul. Like maybe they could be 0-1, 0-1, maybe 2, right? And then let's say you got paying somebody to go in there and lose a fight. That's tier 5 off the rip, right? That's a tier 5. So, since we've established that cheating is an actual part of boxing, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny it. Like it's a part of the sport. Every time you say something that ain't right, that ain't fair, that's cheating, what they say? It's boxing. Okay, so if it's boxing, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it. So, boom, you got low blows. So okay, Earl Spence throws low blows. That's tier 0. You on PEDs? What is PEDs? Is that a tier 5? A tier 4? I would say a tier 4 maybe, because the highest level is just the corruption. Just here, pay, you go in there, you lose, you take it out. Like it, that's the highest level of cheating right there. Just to give my 2 cents, that's just a tier 5. So as we talk, I know y'all see me on other channels, and we start talking about it. Like let's talk about cheating in tiers. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 0. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about top rank and all this cheating that they doing. Joseph say Peds are a tier 9. I mean, if we was going 0 through 10, it would be a tier 9. See, KG Tall say it's a tier 4. So if we was going 0 through 10, it'd be a tier 9. If we was going 0 through 5, it's a tier 4. So I'm about to drop the link. I'm probably gonna be on here a little bit longer than an hour today. I'm about to drop the link. I want y'all to come up here and chit chat with me. Let's talk about this, man. Give me y'all 2 cents about it. Because this is just a little snippet of the video. I seen somebody else talking about it on another channel, and I just got the idea to talk about it today because I realize it's really nobody really talking about the corruption in boxing, and I can see how well it's received on Ross's channel. And though I'm not trying to be a repeat of Ross's channel, I do want to talk about the corruption in boxing. I'm not doing no speculating. I didn't say any of this. Joey said this. Joey literally said they came to him, paid him, told him this and told him that. He said he can tell who gonna win a fight, not based off their skill. I mean, we want to believe that, or that's what they want us to believe, that this has to do with skill, but it doesn't. Part of it does. Sometimes it might have to do with skill. Let's say that. Sometimes it might have to do with skill. Sometimes the fix might be in. You just never know. But what you need to be able to do is be able to educate yourself like Joey does, so he can say, like, take for example, y'all knew Easter Cruz wasn't gonna lose that fight. And how did you know that? It wasn't because you knew the promoter and this and that. It's because you know that they're building Easter Cruz and they can't afford for him to lose. And that's just surface. So unless you getting knocked out cold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 to 10, you're not gonna win. And then the fighters, this is also a key thing. The fighters be in on it. He just said they know what's up. He just said they know what's up. Let me go through some of y'all comments. Come on, who gonna hop up here with me? Y'all come up here and drop y'all 2 cents. Let me know what's up. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. And like seriously though, hearing this and then thinking about all the rhetoric that Rick Glacier and all them be spitting, I mean, it's sick, man. It's sick. Like it's the deflection, everything is sick. What's up, Joseph?
What's up, young lady? What's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much.
Yeah, I was listening to you and everything. You was bringing up a lot of things that basically that a lot of people really we just gloss over. Some of
Mm-hmm.
us heard, understood from other people, but at the same time, it's like we just gloss over it because we always pay attention to the people in the center of the circle. You know what I'm saying? The square circle. We never pretty much understand how this, like Marty always talking about, so many pieces to this
Mhm.
machine.
Mhm.
And when you put up there about Bob Arum and his relationship with Nixon, I was like, we all know Nixon was a corrupt president just for the people already.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, so
That's I am not a crook, right?
yeah, I am not a crook. With the quote, with the quotes, with his finger and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just really amazing how we are oblivious to people's history. And then the
Mhm.
Omaha thing, it's almost like he was probably even like grooming Crawford for this world stage. You know what I'm saying? But when he got, when, like I put in the chat, that when he Crawford got away from him because he's still over so much shit. He over Conte. So he's like, look at here, Slim. I'm still getting percentage of your money
Yep.
because if you don't give me that, I got
Yep.
the voice to put out there about this and about that.
Yep. Yep. And so that makes me wonder, like, I know we don't like Terrence Crawford or however we feel, but is he doing some of this stuff because he has to? Because the thing that's weird to me about
Who,
Crawford
Crawford?
is, yeah, like how can everybody in Omaha love you so much and you so great, but your public persona is so effed up?
I honestly believe Crawford um wanted to be able to beat Spence with his skills, but Bomac and his team was like, you can't do it with your skills, Slim.
Mm,
You just can't. But we got something. As far as with these gloves and maybe some other stuff you don't know about, but you can't do skills is not enough because Errol has already fought Danny Garcia, yada 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 yada. He's an Olympian. Your skills may be
mm-hmm,
good enough for you to win 6 rounds. But by the time the eighth round come, your eyes start getting it this way, or your body getting this way.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
you know, there's certain things about there's a lot of things about a boxer's personality. It's, boxing is one of those things where if you train in 2 months for a fight, and in the first 2 rounds, what have you trained for isn't working,
mm-hmm.
there's certain ways you're going to behave. And
Right.
one thing I remember about YSM, there's this channel called YSM, they had said something about this is long before the fight even came. It's like, oh, we don't know about Spence, but we know Crawford will die in the ring. He'll die in the ring. But now I'm looking at that fight. Nah, Spence looked like the one he would die in that ring. But
Right.
Crawford wore those gloves to make sure he would not have to worry about dying in that ring or at least
Right.
getting hurt bad. So there's a lot of angles to the whole thing with Bob Arum,
Mm-hmm.
Joey
Cause Crawford's
Torres.
connected to Bob. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
he
it
he's
just keeps getting worse and worse
he been
from
watching
here.
him so long to the point where and even Crawford was like when he said he only got 6%. Woo woo woo, and I'm like, okay, that's when I knew right then and there something was up because you're gonna go fight Spence. You have these gloves that look like your grandmother made them, and nobody is saying nothing. No professional boxer is saying nothing.
Well,
You
you
open
know
up
why
your
they not? Cause they know what's. We are the
oh,
only people that don't know what's going
no,
on.
well, I'm talking about boxers that aren't even boxing anymore. The commentators, or even boxers that have their own gyms and stuff like that. That you remember before the fight, there was Freddie Roach, all these different trainers and all these different gyms, and none of them said nothing about the way those gloves look. But the boxers are saying stuff. The actual boxers that are in them camps and in the gyms, they're saying stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my mind is like, what is going on? That's why I'm so happy. Showtime has nothing to do with boxing anymore. Because now I'm trying to tell you, with all the pictures that I got from the boxing outlet and the things I've understood from watching you, once it's determined where PVC is gonna have their fights at, I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm going to pretty much send whoever is the executive, um, president or whatever CEO, an email with all those pictures, my comments. I'm gonna CC it to Everlast, uh, boxing commissioner of commissioner of Vegas, all these people. That way, before this stuff can happen again, that's one of the first things they get before they even have a single fight. They have to wonder, hey, um, who is this Joseph Swaby? I'm nobody as far as the boxing world, but guess what? I know some professional boxers, and they've seen it.
Yeah.
My coach is an ex professional boxer. He knows Riddick Bowe. He knows Holyfield, Tyson, all these. So I'm like, I sent them the joint 2 days ago,
Mm.
and I was like,
But I mean,
nigga.
they not. This is the thing, though. They don't care.
No, they
They
don't
like
care. They don't
it's the
care, but
structure of it. Like
they
they're
they
not
don't
gonna
care. They
do
don't
anything.
care. That's for sure. But what can get to them is like, if it's gonna change their money, the money is the most important. In other words, are people gonna say like, hey, look, after the fight, we still got to look at this, that. That's the next part of boxing that's gonna change
Right.
when
So
after the
yeah,
fight.
I ain't trying to cut you off. Let me read this comment real quick. They so true says they deflecting. Notice how they act when you mention top.
Can't hear you.
So yeah, yeah. I was talking to my daughter real quick. And I'm like Rick Glacier, all that deflecting, man. Like y'all constantly talking about PBC when y'all over there doing all this big boy cheating and corrupt. Y'all not they not even cheating. They're doing corruption. Like they're being corrupt all the way around. You got the what really got me, Joseph, was the websites. I never even thought of that. I thought maybe
Man,
you know who to bet on with Vegas.
look, I'm a
No, no,
network
no, no, no. You
administrator.
making your own website. That's crazy to me.
Look, I'm a network administrator, right? And oh shit, let me call you back. My wife's tripping. I think something happened to her.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Um, Appreciate Joseph for coming up here today. Anybody else want to come through? The link is in the chat. I can drop it again. Let's say Andre Smith say they don't pay black fighters at top rank. We've been bamboozled, led astray, ran amok. Joseph funny. Top rank don't pay back fighters. Why doesn't Top Rank play pay black fighters? We got to look into that too. Like I'm about to tear Top Rank up. I'm about to go all through Top Rank in the corruption because like I mentioned earlier, or I said on another live or somebody else's panel, it seemed like Top Rank got a lot of the glove allegations, a lot of the cheating stuff that goes on. It goes on with Top Rank. You got Joey on here on the interview. He's talking about cheating with Top Rank. Bob Arum, if anybody is going to ruin boxing, it's going to be Bob Arum. Overpaying your fighters is not what's messing up boxing. You got these quote unquote matchmakers when now we realize a matchmaker is just a key word for this is who I hired for this fight, or this is who I paid to take this dive. That's what matchmaker means. So when you hear Top Rank got the best matchmakers in boxing, that's what they talking about. Bear 24 say I don't believe it's every fight. No, I don't believe it's every fight. I believe it's a lot of legit fights. It's a lot of legit fights. It's not every fight. Andre Smith say if they want you to lose, they will find a way. They will find a way. And that's what I was trying to say to somebody else. Like if they want you to lose, you're gonna lose. And this is just not for boxing. I mean, this type of stuff goes on in all the sports. You heard about how the referees was cheating in the NBA. You heard about how the Patriots was cheating in the NFL, right? What they say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But the only thing that I'm trying to get across is that this goes on in boxing. And when people bring it to your attention or say something, you can't just completely throw it out the window when it's put in front of your face and you got to recognize it. But when somebody bring it up, you want to say, "Oh, it's boxing." So if it's boxing, then let's talk about it. It's a part of the game. It's a part of the game. Joseph say, Aram never talked about that. Salute AJ64. What's going on? It's already corrupt, baby girl. That's why Victor went to boxing. Exactly. And this is what we've been saying. Why is this the only sport that let Victor Conti in? If Victor Conti wants to experiment and use steroids, please tell me why he didn't go with the bodybuilders, where it's perfectly legal and fine and nobody have an issue. Why didn't he go with the bodybuilders? The Keji say Top Rank are based in Vegas. They own all the officials. And I remember hearing Terrence say one time, I never lose in Vegas with like this little smirk on his face. If I could find that clip, I'm going to play it. And as soon as he said that, I said to myself, what does that mean? Like, y'all have to start listening. Now that we're here and we're doing this quote unquote little investigation, and it's not even I am investigating, but I'm not doing this for justice or because I won't change. I'm doing it, one, because it's fun and I believe it's great content. And two, because people just need to know we're not gonna change it. You heard Joey. The this has been going on since boxing started. So it's part of it. It's ingrained in the culture, in the spirit of boxing. That's all we're trying to get you to understand. And so when we bring it up and say something, we don't gotta argue back and forth. You don't gotta get mad and all emotional, because if you're easily offended, then you're easily manipulated, which is why so many people are getting duped by boxing, because y'all all in the uproar and emotional about a fighter. Do I care that Errol Spence lost because I'm a fan? Absolutely, I care that Errol Spence lost. But I'm not gonna be going back and forth and arguing in the uproar about it. I'm not just gonna come up here and just make up stuff because he lost, which is what they trying to say everybody trying to do, and that's not true. Bob Arum was the attorney general? Yeah, I believe so. So true, for Nixon. One of the most corrupt presidents we've had. I mean, guys, it just keeps getting worse and worse. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Anybody else want to hop up here? We got a couple more minutes left. I'm gonna get through these comments, but I want to continue to bring y'all content like this so we can talk about it. Give your 2 cents about it. Oh, let me see. AJ was good, fam. I'm used to seeing your name highlighted in blue. I don't pay attention to what fight Top Rank put on. I mean, I don't even. I seriously considered going to the Jennebeck fight because it was near me where I'm at, but I couldn't do it because now I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm not about to pay to go see Fix fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I watch a PBC card, we don't feel like those fights are fixed, and maybe that's why they're more entertaining, because they're not fixed, or not as many of them are fixed. Like, we can't act like Al Heyman just or PBC just the greatest and they don't do nothing. You heard what Joey said. He said Eddie Hearn was the cleanest promoter in boxing. He was the straightest one. And we don't know how true that is. But we do know Eddie Hearn just had an issue with all his fighters testing positive for drugs. And I thought that was kind of weird. Go to my page. I did a video about it with Alicia Baumgardner. Let me see what it say, what the name of the video is, so I can tell y'all so y'all can go watch it. And I talked about how weird that was, that all of Eddie Hearn fighters are tested positive for drugs. Is he sabotaging his own fighters, or is someone sabotaging him? Because it was just too many fighters testing positive. So after we hop off here, I want y'all to go watch Alicia Baumgardner failed PED controversy. Is the testing company mishandling samples? That's the name of that video where I talk about Eddie Hearn and what's going on with Matchroom Boxing and Victor Conti, and how Victor Conti was trying to punk Eddie Hearn into doing VADA testing. So, I mean, all this stuff is connected. And the thing with boxing is not even hard to see, it's right in your face. I mean, this man just did a whole interview on Vlad with 34,000 views. So don't come in my comments saying anything. I'm not saying this. I'm not making it up. I'm not stupid. I'm not of this. I'm not of that. All this comments y'all be saying. Joey said this. And he specifically named drop Top Rank. He said Top Rank name about 5, 6, 10 times throughout this interview. And y'all notice not y'all first time hearing about Bob and hearing about Top Rank. But y'all just glaze over it. But you want to ride PBC because they about to go to a different network. It's crazy. Let's see where we was at. So Arum over Conti and Bud still had to give Arum money after the Spence fight. Give me that money. If you don't, I will put the info out there about what you did. Joseph, let's add extortion to it. Let's add extortion to the list. Is extortion cheating? Chat, let me know. I'm gonna have to give y'all like one of them names, like how people be having with they little subscribers and stuff, like how Beyonce got the Beehive. We're gonna have to come up with a nickname. I might have a contest, and whoever can come up with the best one can win a free tumbler. Cause I'm tired of saying chat. I want to call y'all something else. So we can add extortion. Would extortion be on the tier list? Is extortion a 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? What y'all think? So if you just popping in the live, please punch the like and subscribe button. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I go live every day. And you can hop in and drop your 2 cents in the conversation. So if you're just joining, us in the chat, me in the chat have made a tier system for cheating. And maybe we shouldn't even call it cheating since we've established that it's a part of boxing. Maybe we should call it something else because as soon as you say cheating, cheating has such a negative connotation that automatically whoever you're talking to, they just shut down and they're not listening no more. And then automatically they get defensive. And now you're in a back and forth because you said cheating. It's like a trigger. So we need to think of another word. So extortion, I would say extortion is probably a tier. Is it a tier 5? Is extortion a tier 5, y'all? What y'all think? Shavai Hall, what's going on? What's up? Spence been breaking people's rib with his body shots. Yep. PEDs is a tier 9. Hey, y'all click the link. Come on up here. Anybody else want to hop up here and drop their 2 cents before we hop off? Let me put that down there. You can name the tiers like clean, corrupt, cheater. That's a good idea. Andre say, I think the glove got it because you can kill a person with those gloves. And we seen that with the Panama Louis Resto, I think his name was. Maybe we could go over there one day what exactly happened with that story. And honestly, I feel like does somebody have to die? Right? Like does somebody have to die before before something gets done? They killed that man in the ring. All things, what's going on? Salute. I just dropped the link in the chat. If anybody want to hop up here. So the higher the tier is the worse offense. Am I getting that right? 2 cents? Yes, AJ. So let's say you keep headbutting somebody. I would say that's a tier 0, right? Because it's not technically allowed, but if you do it, you'll get a warning, right? If you do it again, then you'll get a point taken away. So it's not like it's just cheating, like it just shouldn't be happening at all. Kind of like a foul in basketball. So that would be like a tier 0. So when people want to come and say, "Oh, you saying Crawford gloves? He cheating? Well, Spence stole a lot of low blows." Okay, well that's a tier 0. The gloves is what? Tier 3, tier 4. So it's levels. So we got to keep the balance because you don't want to just completely disregard how they feel because yeah, you shouldn't be throwing low blows. So let's get it a little balance when we speak about the corruption. And it's not about being right or wrong about the corruption. We're not trying because Joey just told us. So it's no right or wrong. It's there. It's a part of boxing. Joey just said it's been here since the 20s. So let's just speak about it in a manner and with an understanding that it's a part of boxing and it can affect the fight. It can affect the fight. No, it's not an excuse. Would the fight be different maybe if they wasn't in there with the tier 3 cheating? Maybe. That's all we saying. That's all we saying. AJ say you are definitely a plus on Ross channel. You and A. Who is A? Just do boxing in the building. What's going on? Hey, y'all, punch that like button. Trying to get my live feet under me. Trying to get better at talking to myself. Since don't nobody want to come up here and chat with me. Keji say we need to contact the Nebraska Athletic Commission who give out boxing permits and deal with the Avenesian fight. Well, the Keji, I want you to do a little quick Google search for me and get an update for me on that because from my understanding, they're trying to get that as a no contest, and I think somebody was supposed to send me an interview with Avenesian's trainer talking about it because I do want an update on that. But last I heard, they hadn't done anything about that. And you heard what Joey said. He mentioned Omaha, Asante L 2 cents and plus Ross. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, man, we got a nice chemistry. We have a good time over there. The catcher says if you study Bud's record, it's clear he had reached the ceiling at 135. He was struggling to knock out anyone and was considered a boring fighter. Um, I wouldn't my 2 cents. I wouldn't necessarily consider Crawford a boring fighter. It's just I never left a Crawford fight feeling like, oh man, I never see him overcome really no adversity like that. I mean, he overcame the adversity with Gamboa, but you shouldn't even been getting rocked by Gamboa. You pulled him up 2 weight classes. And he said that was his toughest fight. Salute Joseph. I appreciate your knowledge on Ross channel. Then Bud Buddies go crazy over there and you got to put them in their place. Yeah, yeah. Joseph, you back?
Back in black.
All right. Hope everything going all right over there.
Yeah, we had went to the hospital early today. So,
You know, I guess I could share a story with you. Uh, just recently, my husband's mom was sick. She got a breast cancer in April,
mm,
and they gave her 2 months to live. And she actually ended up living 5,
mm-hmm,
but she died in September. And
mm.
we took care of her at the house the whole time. And I'm not sure what's exactly going on with with you and your wife or how your situation is, but I just want to say I can kind of relate to what you're going through, and I do understand, and I wish the best for you.
Man, my wife
And
is strong as hell. My wife's strong as hell. Even though she don't eat right, she does when she. My wife, she's like her spirit is like so tough, so tough. You know what I'm saying? So,
mhm.
it's almost like she been fighting that. Her spirit been fighting that shit harder than the chemo.
Right, right. Oh,
But
she's going through the chemo right now. Is it bad or?
it was, but now, they try to give her some bullshit. But now,
Right.
I'm sorry, I ain't trying to press on the channel.
Oh no, I'm not
But
monetized.
okay, so it's
uh,
like she's like really, she's just thorough. You know what I'm saying? We
right.
not saying other people aren't. Not saying other
No,
people
no,
aren't.
yeah.
I'm just saying that she fights every day with everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
With
right.
whatever's going on, she's not no coward. I've learned some things from her as far as being, even braver than I was when I met her sometimes,
Yeah.
with this whole ordeal. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I'm just happy that, she still got some more things to share with me. We fight all the time, though. I ain't gonna lie. We fight all the time, but that's just part of life.
Right, right, right. Definitely, definitely. So if you're just coming into the chat, just enter in the chat, please punch that like button. The Kejis say they definitely gonna protect Bud, but it will leave a paper trail, which is good. So Truth, that's what So Truth said. I think he started juicing the tamper with gloves around 2015 when he came to 147. No, no, that's not 2015.
But you
That was
know, but you,
135.
but you know but you know that the whole thing with tampering with gloves was something that was protected for a while because
Mm-hmm.
when you look at Bud's status as a boxer and being recognized and stuff like that, he 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 was he was recognized as a good boxer, fighter, whatever for a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
his that status of hurting people. knocking him out and being a dog. That was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, let me see. The Minister of Boxing Violations say, very, very good point, brother. Nobody's saying nothing. And if I may add to this, they want us to knowledge, know the blatant cheating and corruption is in your face and documented. And that's what I'm saying, Minister of Violations. They doing it right in our face. They telling you they doing it. You just gotta
that's why I'm glad
understand.
Showtime ain't got nothing to do with no more. And like I said earlier about sending the email with everybody in it and have the commissions of different states as well as um, athletes, not just boxers. You know what I'm saying? Even because you have a lot of reporters that trying to talk about this before, but then they get ostracized and some of them have even lost their jobs. We got to find them. We
Uh-huh.
got to find a
The
few of them.
disgruntled.
Yeah, the disgruntled. Even because I remember when Terrence Crawford fought Gamboa because Gamboa had a PED issue, you know,
Mm.
and they were going to pretty much that was they were supposed to be tested. Terrence and Gamboa was supposed to be tested, but it didn't happen. It didn't even
Mm.
happen.
So Truth say
Both.
I ignored a handful of things that didn't add up during the lead up to the press conference that had me like to the EJ Bud fight. Yeah, I ignored a lot of stuff. I didn't really ignore it. I just didn't make content on it. Cause when I seen Earl running up that mountain, I looked at my husband and I said, he's injured. He's
Not just that.
injured.
No, the only other fighter I seen that did that, they also lost. That was who he was. Oh, what was he was at 147. He was supposed to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. I can't remember his name. I gotta look. I can't. I forgot who. But he was
And why
good. He
would he
was.
even post that?
Why would you even do it? Why would you
Why
even
would
do
you
it,
even
dude?
do it? And why would
You
you
know what I'm
even
saying?
post it?
Why would you? It's like you've done all this work. You know what I'm saying? You've done all this work and you can't. You don't have to go the extra few joints 2 days before the fight, 3 days before the fight because what's happening is you're like you said. Why post it? Like you're trying to convince everybody else. Why would you even do it? You trying to convince yourself certain
Right. Or
things.
you had to post it, or it's a code. Like y'all don't understand, like a lot of the stuff that be done is code. We just don't know the language. Like you said, another fighter did it before they fought Mayweather. Why?
No, he fought. He was supposed to. Vivian Harris. Vivian Harris. Vivian
Ran up a
Harris.
mountain?
Man, he ran miles in Atlantic City when he was supposed to fight somebody else on the undercard before Mayweather versus I forgot who Vivian Harris who Mayweather was supposed to be fighting, but basically um that's not something you normally do. And Emmanuel Stewart was even talking about it like you drain yourself even more trying to do that. You
Yep.
know what I'm
And
saying?
this what I
So
want y'all to do too. That interview where Frank Martin runs up on Keyshawn. Watch how when the dude from Fight Hub asked him about Earl and how he was like, he was about to say something like he was about to say something, but he didn't, and he kind of hesitated. And that's when I knew something was up. I seen the video, and then I seen that interview with Frank Martin. Y'all go find that and come back and let me know what y'all see and
I'm
how
gonna
Frank
find.
Martin responds when the dude from Fight Hub said something to him. I knew
All I
something
know
was up.
is All I know is that I don't mind people thinking or feeling as though Bud would win. But early today, I was listening to the chat while I was in the hospital with my wife. I wanted to get in there, but
Right,
I'm in the hospital with my wife, and
right.
so I couldn't. But the bottom line is the prevailing attitude with Bud Crawford fans is that Bud is such a good boxer. He can beat Spence.
Mhm.
That's the prevailing attitude. But at the same time, I'm like, well, if you are a good boxer, then that doesn't mean nothing because Spence has fought good boxers before.
He's an
Garcia's a good
Olympian.
boxer.
He's an
Ugas,
Olympian.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, but I guarantee you any amount of money you put manipulated gloves on Ugas, Garcia, Porter, anybody that Spence has already fought. Spence would have lost. Period.
It'd have been a different fight.
It'd have been
I
different
wouldn't
because
say he would have lost
he
because
would
I
have
think
lost.
whatever his
Manipulated gloves
fingers.
is very serious because when I'm gonna put it to you this way: you ever got stung by a mosquito?
Yes.
Have you ever been bitten by a snake? Like a
No, I haven't. I don't even fool with
right,
snakes.
right. So you don't know. But once you get bitten by a snake, when I'm talking about an aggressive snake, like a rattlesnake thing, it's like something different. Your mind is this place, that place, and you're not the same person. You may be frantic, but once you've been bitten by a snake before, you be like, you know what to do or whatever. But mosquito, or your whole life you've been bitten by mosquitoes. So
AJ
you
said,
once you,
right. Go ahead.
when Spence got hit, he even said, I felt his power in the first round. The first round. That's
Hmm.
nothing any boxer that has fought Crawford has ever said.
Yep.
They felt his power in the first round or this and that. I'm talking about it when I say felt this, I'm talking about cats in 130 and 135. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's not
Hmm.
something that has to do with how he throws his punches, the timing, the leverage he has when he does, because there's a lot of things that have to do with power.
Right.
So he basically used manipulated gloves to have an advantage.
Yep. No, to cheat. What's that? Tier four? Two
Tier
cents
four,
boxing. We really need someone to interview that guy squeezing the gloves. I put his name in the chat. Yeah, the
ooh,
E2 Dieguez dude. Hey, y'all go look up that article.
he's not.
I think I think it might have been the LA Times or
It was
something
L.A. time, Los Angeles time. I read it. You
where
turned
he's
me on
talking
to
of
it.
yeah, where he was talking about that's his secret weapon. Come on, y'all. Like it can't get no more. But anyway, it says the Hearn families are linked to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, I don't know what he said. Listen, this is
I
what
don't know
Joey
about
said.
that. It's
Joey
possible, but I
just
don't
said
know.
that Joey said that Eddie Hearn was pretty clean. They don't like Eddie Hearn, and they just tried to take down Eddie Hearn. I'm telling you, y'all go watch that video. All his fighters was popping dirty.
It's
We need these
possible,
answers from this man, and we need to know more about his history.
but I'm glad everything's moving away from Showtime because Showtime has too many. It has so much power. Like it has a certain amount of power. Whereas there's certain questions you're not supposed to ask. But
Mm-hmm.
now, if it's going to Prime or whoever, any and everybody can ask questions, and it's like you
It'll be
don't have to
different. You
worry.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to be ostracized, removed somehow, be looked at as a black sheep or whatever. No, it's just a question.
Mm-hmm. As I say, you can tell when Crawford walked into the arena, he knew he had loaded deck. He was going to win and had everything going for him. When you say cheat, I think of Bud. Hey.
Hey, look, and that's the one thing too about my brother, he's been a Bud fan for years, and he and we used to always talk about the fight, and I was like, if Spence loses the fight, he can live with himself, but
Right.
but Bud can't.
Mm.
So when a person can't live with something, they're gonna take extra measures to make sure they won't.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was in a long. This was like maybe 8 months ago. It was right after Ugas, or right before the Ugas fight, and I was watching a boxing channel, YSM. YSM was like um, all them coaches in Philly, Boots, and um, those cats. I forgot. I can't remember the name. A bunch of other cats. They kind of popped on YouTube now. And I'm like, they was like, oh, we know um, um, Terrence Crawford going down the ring. I was like, how do you know? How do you know? Yeah,
He a
yeah, how do you
dog.
know?
He a dog.
Yeah,
I've
and I'm
never
like, how
seen
do you
no
know?
dog in Terrence Crawford. I've never seen it. He might be, but I've never. He's never
No,
had to show it.
he might be a dog, but you don't know you're a dog until you go against the dog. Until you go and
Right.
once you get in there, look, I used to box, you know what I'm saying? And amateur and stuff like that, and do my little thing or whatever. But I never went professional because I was like, I was kind of like one of those dudes like, well, I can do this. I'm kind of smart, and nobody is
Mm-hmm.
depending on me to be the one, you know. But and other things too, as far as crime and stuff like that. But it was one of those things where I'm looking at Terrence Crawford like, oh, you a dog, all right.
Mm-hmm.
You are definitely a dog. But
A dog, yeah.
it's like when you're a smart dog. You can look at
Mm-hmm.
that TV and say you can see when somebody can hurt somebody the way you can't hurt somebody,
Right.
and say to yourself, I gotta do something
I
if I
got
fight
to.
this person.
Oh, let me see. AJ, let me read this real quick. AJ 64 say they piss me off when they get on you 2 cent saying you don't know boxing when you know more boxing than most of the men. So I get put them in their place what they be doing. AJ, I be seeing you in the chat getting on them, appreciate it. But that's just the go to because they don't know. They just say I don't know nothing about boxing. Like I don't even know what that means. I'm literally
That's
sitting
'cause
here
you
talking
be
to you
asking
about boxing.
not too soon. You be asking questions that a lot of cats don't even we forget to even ask about sometimes, or we're so
Mm-hmm.
caught up into the moment, and you don't be caught up in the moment. You're like just you like pretty much extract who you like, who you don't like, and put the
Mm-hmm.
question out there about as far as the obvious, or what should
Mm-hmm.
be obvious. And you
Yeah, cause
know,
it's simple. It's simple. Like y'all not thinking about the simplest thing. Like
yeah,
because
and
it's because for this to be a male space, quote unquote, they're so emotional. It's funny to me. It's
look, I
really
ain't gonna
funny
lie
to
to you.
me.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I get emotional sometimes, like I was apologizing to Ross, you, and everybody of last night about that time I went
No,
off on
no, I'm talking about
D35.
emotional where they get to the name calling. You
Oh
know shit
yeah,
about boxing. You know, like, dude, like
oh yeah, that's
I went on
stupid. That's
somebody
stupid.
chat one time, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but I went on his chat because he was talking noise about me, and I told him drop the link. So I hop on the chat and he's like, and we talking and he's like getting kind of loud. I'm like, whoa, 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 dude. Like we're just having a conversation. And he's like, well, I mean, I'm not calling you out your name. I'm not. I said you wouldn't be doing that anyway. That's just like walking up to somebody and being like, I ain't gonna punch you in the face. Of course you're not. Like I don't even know why you saying that. You're not about to be talking to me crazy.
But that's one of those. I'm not gonna say whoever that was a coward. I just say that when people have an opinion or a view, they don't want you to tarnish. Like me, I'm the type person, you know, because there's a few times, you said something. I was like, you know what, she right. She right. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ross, there was some things that Ross had said, like you talking about different things yesterday about how, or 2 days ago about how the direction of where boxing could go. And you told him, well, there's this and there's that as far as the different states and the venues, how basketball is this way, that way, and even Ross had to
Right, right.
concede, like like yeah, you right, I feel you. But even though, but there are ways around that. But at the end of the day, Ross wasn't no person saying, you know what, how dare you correct me.
Right.
He was just being a man about it, like because you're right, maybe we can still find a way.
We could do something. I mean,
Yeah.
it just that's why I named my page 2 cents. Like it's no right or wrong answer. So you just say however you feel. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I mean, we can go back and forth, a nice debate and have fun like we be doing, but it's not that serious. Says there's already been plenty of deaths in boxing. We don't need any more. We need something to keep speaking on this. We need to make change. I feel you, AJ. We do need to make change, but like I said, I'm not here to make no change. I'm just here to point it out and make people aware of it so you can understand that maybe when you watching boxing, you should consider some of these things, depending on the level of fan you are. We should have a tier level of fans. You might have a tier 0 fan where they just watch all the big fights on pay-per-view. They don't know what's going on. Says, I agree. I ignored signs I saw because I wanted it to be a great fact. In fact, until the fight was stopped in the ninth round, I stayed plugged in mentally with EJ, living and dying moment to moment. I did the same thing, but I already knew. After this is when I knew it was gonna be some ridiculous going on when he made that
Man, I
Nate
knew from
Diaz
the
fight. I
look,
wish I would
look,
have made content about it, but I ain't want to be negative. You know what I'm saying? I want to put that on my boy Spence like that.
sis. When I say I used to fight and box. I got into boxing because I used to fight.
Hold on,
The,
Andre. How you know Garcia on Snack? You talking about Ryan Garcia, Andre? Okay, go ahead. I'm in control.
yeah, I knew something was wrong because when I used to fight on the street with the when I used to fight with the gloves on, I used to knock Bama's out because I boxed. But in like in the gym. But when I used to hit them Bama's in the street, they would be knotted up, and sometimes they wouldn't be knocked out. Sometimes they would, but sometimes they wouldn't. So when
Right,
I
right.
saw Earl Spence, somebody been fighting all the late 8:30, you don't just start getting knotted up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't start getting knotted up when you're 30. You get knotted up once you get it. There's a lot of actors and stuff like people who want to get into fighting boxing that Mickey Rourke, he was this white dude that got into boxing and stuff like that. Even my man's Willie D
Mm-hmm.
got in the game, got in the ring after all those years of doing whatever and fighting in the street. But getting in the ring is different. And he
Yep.
didn't get knotted up, but he used to tell Bammers, he used to knot Bammers up in the street, but with them gloves, it's not easy to knot Bammers up. Not saying that it's impossible. It's very possible, but not now with the way they supposedly are supposed to pad gloves. It's not, it's not supposed to happen. And people always say the way they pad gloves is protecting the boxer's hands. That was
Yep.
then. That was way back then. Now, after they use the type of foam and things like that, now it's for protecting the hands as well as the fighter.
Yep. Yep. Red pill, blue pill, you choose. You gotta choose. You gotta choose. The red pill or blue pill, but the minister of boxing, keep in mind
But
you are still
but
taking a pill.
yep. But it was like I remember one time it might have been a month ago. Since you were the one we was talking about the weight how it's distributed through the glove, and I had spoke to my coach. My coach, he boxed way back in the days. He boxed under cards with Riddick Bowe. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, it ain't like that now.
Mm.
That's when I was like, whoa. So do you mean they could distribute the shit in there kind of way? He said,
They
yeah.
can do it now too. I don't know why
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
what,
think
what
they
I'm
can.
saying is, I'm saying when I used to box, it was like, it was a concentrated place in the glove. But my coach was like, no, it ain't like that now. Uh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you want them distributed.
Zach B, what's up? All right, Joseph, listen, I'm having a good time, y'all, but I gotta go. I'm on here 40 minutes past the time I was supposed to, but this was such a great conversation. I'm gonna try to get my schedule together so I can be able to be on here longer. Cause it's like as soon as you get into the conversation, it's time to go. But I want to thank everybody for watching the live. If you stayed through all the way through the live, make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know and drop it below what you think. Join in the conversation, your opinion about this, what you think about what Joey said. I want to thank Joseph for coming on the panel today. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I hope I was able to get through all of y'all comments. Kinahan had people shooting up each other at weigh-ins. Yeah, Kinahan gangster like that's a he's like cartel level gangster. Like the U.S. got a $5 million bounty on this man's head. Like he ain't no I sell drugs on the corner gangster.
You're like, I'm gonna go to Cuba, I'm gonna go to Nigeria, and then I'm gonna come
Yeah,
back home.
he probably got his own jet gangster type of thing. Like he in and out of countries unnoticed. But thanks everybody for joining the live today. Make sure y'all punch the like button before you head out. And I'll see y'all in the next live to give my 2 cents.
All right, two
Peace.
cents. Stay tough.